Scholars, welcome. It's Labor Day week. You're starting chapter 3 of your text. We're still dealing with the COVID. Many of you have emailed me with stories of how your roommates or friends have been diagnosed. I encourage everyone to continue to think about masks, proximity to people, especially indoors, and where you go to play, be it avoiding bars. Let's look at the statistics for COVID for the UT campus today, September 2nd. I'm taping this a few days before the weekend. There are 238 active cases of COVID among students and 5 active cases among the faculty and staff. So, based upon last week, if I ask you, what's the prevalence rate for COVID in the UT population as of September 2nd? How would you calculate that? Well, you'd have to know what's the potential pool of people who could be living with COVID. In this case, 29,460 students, a guesstimated enrollment. So 238 divided by that 29,460 times 100 will get you 0.8%. Almost 1% of the UT population now have been actively diagnosed and tested for COVID. Now keep in mind, another way to look at this is that for every 1,000 students on campus, there are 8 people walking around who have been diagnosed with COVID. They're not walking, they're in isolation. But it gives you a different perspective when you look at the different multiples of how we might report rates. For the faculty, the prevalence really is 0.05. It's very low. But again, I think the faculty, I know you and I've not been tested. We're not requiring testing for COVID here on campus. Now, the University of Alabama, where I went to school, are requiring every student to be tested multiple times during this upcoming semester. That's why you're seeing all of these cases being detected. But that's a great thing because they can be isolated and quarantined and minimize risk for the broader population of people. C'est la vie. Well, back to Epi. This week, you're going to be looking at what epidemiologists like to measure with physical activity, how we measure it, how does it work at the national level when we survey large populations of people in Tennessee or the United States. You're going to be looking at a common instrument used across the world, the Global Physical Activity Questionnaire. You'll actually take that. And then I have a reading for you that came from the Lancet journal that looks at the physical inactivity of people across the world and how it relates to certain select chronic diseases. What's the burden of being sedentary and risk for breast cancer or prostate cancer? That's a reading that I think it's a must in an EPI 101 for physical activity. Well, it is a full week. You've got 2 quizzes, one on the reading from the Lancet article and then the summary for the entire module. Again, as always, read the chapter before you take that final quiz. Now, Mr. Wood and I are always here. Mr. Wood's your first point of contact. Let me know if you'd like to talk via Zoom. We'll work something out there. Be safe. Stay away from others. Don't go to bars. And wear your mask. Ciao.